Hello, beautiful souls. Today, I am back with another message, sharing my story once more. And today, I wanted to talk about my life and dealing with fear. And I'm gonna just say that fear has crippled me in a way unimaginable because um, before I went through like I want to call it like dark night of the soul, before the Lord kind of sat me down all by myself. Um, well, I had no choice but to be by myself all the time, and that's how I was able to get in touch with myself. Um, when I think about how I was before I had even got to this stage of fear, it was more so it came kind of after belief of believing that I couldn't get no better than what I had, or that I was designed to fail. Because just when I thought I was getting everything I ever wanted, it came crumbling down real fast. It went nowhere fast. And during my time of fear, I'm going to say I experienced some at that time, but I still kept going. I still kept going because I went into head school. I really had fear of other things because at the time I didn't have children. I just had fear of believing that I could be here. I was just believing I was here because that's where everybody else was. And I went to head school, and while I was in head school, I got pregnant. And I still continue, but during that time of my pregnancy, I learned some things that kind of what was the beginning stages of the prison I was in. And that's when the fear started to set in. I was scared that I wasn't going to complete something. I was scared that I was going to be like everybody else because I had never been pregnant before, even though I was old enough. But I had already, I would say a year prior, had begun on my journey of bettering myself and following my dreams, But let's just say a man and a baby came into the picture. And I finished. I graduated. I passed both my theoretical and practical tests on first try. I passed all 35 tests when I was in high school. I even have my cosmetology license that I renew every 2 years. I just don't work in anybody's salon. I don't do anybody's hair, anything. I mean, I even went to locks because I no longer really wanted to do my hair, and something was calling me to go towards locks anyway. And I've been natural almost a full since 2012, December 4th, 2012. So being as though I was able to stay that way and enjoy seeing my normal self, because that's a whole nother story. Why I went relaxed. One, because I was pregnant, and because that was the number one reason. And once I left my hair alone, I started to like it, and I've been natural since. And then I've had these locks since February of 2020. So anyway, during that time when I was pregnant, things were happening that was trying to keep me from doing that, but I still accomplished that. But let me speak to you as to what was really happening to me while I was in high school. So all while a baby came in, a relationship came in, while I was on the journey, there were things that was going on in my home that I was now in that used to at one point be a safe place. It turned into a living nightmare. It turned into something physical. It turned into abuse physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And when you start messing with my spirituality means so much to me. And it gotten so bad that I feel like I made a deal with the devil, because when I was in high school the whole time, I was just so focused because I knew I was in the right place. And I was praying every day. I was reading my word. I was being positive to other people. No matter what I was doing at the time, regardless of what people thought about me, still the Lord knows my heart and I know my heart. I was asked to take a break for a second because I spent almost 2 years in school. My daughter was I think she had already turned 1 by the time I graduated at the time, because I started in 2012 and I found out I was pregnant. So I was already pregnant when I had already enrolled. I just didn't know. I was picking up a little weight and I was small. And I'll post a picture soon, what how I looked at the time. And I made an agreement, okay, to let, the person I was with do them, but them doing them turned into 6-7 years of them doing them and have nothing to show for it. While everything I've done in that time, I have something to show for it. It may not be the idea of what other people wanted for me or thought I should be, but don't nobody know my story. They don't know my real talents or my gifts or who I really am. So back on track to the story. Fear started to come in because I started noticing, like, okay, I'm on pause. But while I was on pause and I was already getting ready to start putting in applications to get into other people's salons, I was ready to do my thing because I came from that. I was in a salon before I went to high school. I left it. I cried. I felt it broke my spirit to walk away from it because I had to worry about having somewhere to live. I was really homeless for a little while, to be honest, and I didn't have family, anybody to help me or reach out and give me any place to stay. Now, there was other people in the family who, had a little bit of help, but I really didn't have that. I was literally by myself the whole time. And let me just get back on topic. God was talking to me while I was in high school the whole time. Talking to me every day. It was like the best friendship I ever had. That was the first time I ever noticed God speaking to me, because I was wholeheartedly seeking him the same way I am now. Like, I used to have this thing with, like, letting the little things that I may do that I might feel like God would shun me for, and God doesn't do that. Not when you still diligently seek him. Now, there are things that we all might do that we might need help with, like addictions, things like that. The Lord has an issue when you don't seek him. And I'm learning that now, to not shy away just because I may make a mistake or something, to just repent and return. That's all the Lord wants. But anyway, I agreed. And almost everything I ever agreed to with the people that were in my life at the time, it just turned into a big disaster. But at the same time, I was in a really bad mental prison because of fear. Fear of believing I couldn't do it on my own. Fear of believing I'm nobody. Fear of believing that no one else would want me. Fear that no one else would like my flaws. Fear that I could not have a husband. Fear that I could not have the life that I wanted, or that my dreams couldn't come true. I had so many fears on me. I went from being a vivacious person, a very beautiful person. You couldn't catch me looking a mess. Even when I looked a mess, I looked good. I'm one of them people that attract a lot of positivity because I'm always positive. Even the me person, somebody who could probably come to you and be like, oh, she's mean. They probably would say I'm mean because of however they treated me. I used to match energy. I don't match energy no more. What I do is okay, you want to be mean, you want to treat me, I'll remove myself because I know my power. When you kill people with kindness, you kill them with silence. I'm always good to people that come across me in my life. You had to really had done something for me to come off as if I'm mean or something. But I don't care to explain that of myself. All I'm speaking on is, in my experience, when I thought I had bliss, when I thought I had happiness, it turned into a nightmare. It turned into something that, it was so many red flags before it had ever led to anything officially. And I ignored them, but I don't ignore my intuition anymore. because I could have saved myself so many years of tears, so many years of frustration. And this is not even just pertaining to a relationship or life. I'm talking about relationship with friends, relationship with parents, relationships with other family members, relationship with co-workers, relationships with bosses, supervisors, managers, whatever you want to call it. I started paying attention to my relationships with people. When I start seeing the same pattern in the same peoples, or when I start seeing the same spirit in somebody, I believe it when I see it and I don't run from it. But what I can tell you is that during my moments of darkness, when I look back at the days I wept, when I look back at how I transitioned into the person I am now, I was calling myself ugly. Well, I'm not this and that. I look like this because this is me. This is the real me. Unlike the photos people used to see of me. And no, I didn't have on boatloads of makeup or nothing. It's just that when I lose weight, I look like a different person. But you could still see it's me. And that's what had happened to me. I had lost weight. I was looking good, smelling good, chasing my dreams and everything. And it was like the Lord removed someone and the devil sent them back. And I mistakenly took that as oh, this is for me. And no, it really wasn't. It kind of distracted me all the way up into the past 2 weeks when, I was coming with my videos, even though I don't know anything about editing. And then every time I would record a video, because I had more, it's like the videos kept stopping. My equipment was acting crazy. So I just started finding ways to go around what was happening to my equipment, like my computer going down, or not having enough space on a tablet or on my phone or on my camera, like even buying the camera and still having the issue. So I did everything I can to go around these things. So it's no reason for me not to be doing my videos. I started getting to the point, I started losing some sleep a little bit, because I was up too much, worried about how can I have already moved on for somebody, but they won't let me go. And this is recent, because I was trying to walk you guys through a process, a series of stories that I know will be helpful of the things that I overcome, including this major thing that will keep coming up in videos. But I say all that to say, because I don't have friends. I don't have encouragement. I don't have a mom around me to comfort me, a dad around me to comfort me, no grandparents, even down to my siblings. Everybody's lives busy. And then it's like the people who knew to own me, nobody really know me for who I really am right now. So I don't really be around people, because I'm not making people accept me. It's a choice. If you don't accept who I really am, then I'm not going to force myself. Because a lot of people in my life, whether it's family or not, they still remember me as the old me, and I'm not that person. I don't laugh at certain things I used to laugh at. I don't do certain things I used to do. I'm in a place like my spirituality means more to me than anything. So even if I gotta get on this camera while I'm not as confident as I desire to be, but it's coming back. Trust me, it's coming slowly but surely. I see it, I feel it. The more confident I'm getting with God and in God and finding peace in God, it's so amazing, so beautiful for me. And all he tells me every day is get up, tell your story. That's all he been telling me the past 2 weeks. Get up, share your story, because it's going to help somebody. Somebody is stuck in something that you just got out of. Help them, help them, help them. I was just looking at myself like I had to be this preaching all these words. Read Deuteronomy this and read Matthew that. That's not me. I can teach you from personal experience the things I've been through, and it makes me want to cry, because I've been trying to get to this moment for over a year. I've been trying to get to this moment for over a month. All the way down to, like I said, my videos kept stopping. So when you look at some of my videos, you'll see where 1 minute it might be 17 minutes, then one might make 6 minutes. But I think I fixed the issue by purchasing some things, because I needed space. I need to be able to record as long as I needed to. I'm just saying that what was meant to hurt me, it only fueled my fire. It only made me remember who I am. And what I'm supposed to be doing. I always knew that I was here to help. I always knew that I was here to teach, because I'm always learning. Everything I learned, I've always all my life reach back and share with somebody, because I'm always curious by nature. I feel like life is too precious. It's a lesson whether it hurts or not. And all I can do is reach back out and just talk to people. You know, because like I said, I don't really have that. So my way to release and heal is by making these videos. My way to help you heal is about being vulnerable. You know, I mean, at first, when I first made my first video, I felt a little shaky, you know, but the more I look in this camera and I look at myself speak, it's like speaking to you is speaking to me, you know. Just looking at, I see all the things that I know will probably be imperfect to someone else, but I see all the things that are perfect to me, all the things that God remind me each and every day is perfect to me, you know. And I'm a prime example of what fear would do to you. Fear will have you losing yourself and people. Fear would have you going against yourself, against God. When God tells you something is for you, believe him. The whole time I was taking my practical test, I was messing up on the fingernail and still passed. I passed every part, the blood spilled, every part, the cutting, the relaxing. I just aced it. That was God. You know, I wrote that down in 2008. Lord, I really want to do this and that, but all these things around me, how do I get out of this? Wrote about it. I had no idea I wrote about it until a friend of mine, someone that I call my sister, had gave the book to me, because it was her book, and she was like, remember you wrote this? And it came into fruition. It really did. Because not even a year and a half later, you know, I was met with a situation of losing my grandparents. You know, it wasn't the best situation, but it was a situation that made me grow, and it made me be the best me that I can be. You know, I wasn't prepared. Nobody prepared me for anything. I knew nothing. All I knew how to do was survive. And you know, it's making me want to cry, because I didn't think I would ever bring it up, but I gotta share it. The Lord say, share it, tell your story. I had nowhere to go. All I know is that my dreams were starting to come true, but I had no home. I didn't have people. The people I thought I needed, I didn't have none of that. I kept going, and I ran into somebody that was just being so nice to me, you know, and I wasn't looking for nothing. I just wanted a friend. And it's like every time when I'm in a vulnerable moment, something get thrown at me, like tempted, because I'm a lover. All I seek is to give love and to get it in return. And now that I know how it's used, I'm sorry, let me relax. These are real tears, so let me just relax and stop trying to hide that and being vulnerable. You know, I had nobody, but I had things that the nobody people wanted. And I was getting attacked. I was like getting in fights I had nothing to do with. I mean, I was getting attacked all kinds of ways, to the point that I just shut everybody out. I didn't care if I was close to you or not. I just shut everybody out. And still to this day, sometimes it get brought up that, oh, that's because you was in love. That had nothing to do while I was set down alone. The Lord set me down because everybody in my environment was not good for me. Even when I had to sit in one of the most hurtful places because of a choice I made, I was warned not to even go to that. But I had no idea. I mean, I knew I had intuition, but I didn't understand how real it was at the time. I was young. I was like 21. I mean, I was already getting downloads about stuff then, you know, but I didn't understand it the way that I do now. And I just walked right into the arms of one sent. I hate to say it, but by Satan himself. tried to take me out, you know. And this is how you know when a person ain't for you, when it's red flags before it become anything. Don't ignore those red flags, because I did that. Those red flags wasn't there for nothing. That was God trying to save me years of tears, because I was already broken. I was already vulnerable. And then when I think about it, it still hurt, because I can't believe that somebody would be so evil like that. Like, know what type of situation you in, and then, you know, I'm not saying things they didn't feel was real. Yeah, some of it was real. Some of it really was. But they hid it because they are people pleaser, and I'm not. I stand in my truth. I never follow other people. You can ask anybody that ever been friends with me. I ain't no follower. Why you think me and... Well, you don't know that. But me and a lot of people have not been friends in years. Because I'm not a follower. I don't kiss tail. That's not my thing. But I did it enough in a relationship. Like, I had never wanted to be in relationships before I got with this person. Not saying I haven't had one, but I didn't, because I knew that I was too much for everybody. Like, literally, that my love is too intense. I knew that. And the one time, it was one person ever had got my guard down to only play with me, and it took me a long time, years, to really see it for what it really is. Not saying I wasn't seeing things and I wasn't talking to myself and I wasn't preparing, but I didn't know that I was preparing by prayer. I didn't know that the things that I was writing down, my little prayers, my little notes to myself, even when I was in the confusion I was in, you know, but I was in fear, because my whole world came coming down. I really thought that I did something wrong. I felt like, Lord, how can I just have my whole world already taken from me, and then you give me something to replace it, and then it's snatched away that quickly? Why am I not enjoying my first pregnancy? Why am I not getting married? It was just so many things going on. I hate to say it. My story is so complex. But the point that I'm trying to make about my story is about the fear part. Because I never used to fear anything. I didn't start experiencing fear until I started dealing with somebody that vibrate on a level way beneath mine. And I'm not saying that I'm better than a person or nothing. I'm talking about, like, when you think about how people think. I'm an intellectual person. I love healthy conversation. I'm not one of them people that like to come with all this gossip and talking bad about people or hating on people. I have conversation that uplifts, and you learn, and you take away something when you come in my presence. But I came around someone that wasn't a giver, they were a taker, and I'm a giver. You know, like the empath, the narcissist type thing. That's what it was. And it was already too late. I was already in too deep. And that's when the prison was built, the walls. And I wrote a poem about it a couple months ago. I'm going to read it one day. But beyond that fear set in all while I had school and having a kid, you know. And now I have 4. And not only do I have 4 kids, I also graduated and did that. I also left the job that I felt like I made it happen with that little bit of $300 every 2 weeks and stuff. I made it happen because at the time I had 1 child, then I had 2. You know, I went to God again because I needed to upgrade in a job, and He blessed me with a job. You know, the job still pays very well. Still have it, even though right now I'm in a slow season. So, you know, I watched how, when I was in that prison, how I was treated like a nobody, like filth. Like, I mean, to the point that I got so down and depressed that I stopped caring about how I look. I no longer wanted to be pretty. I no longer wanted anybody to look at me because I was in shame that, you know, I would be judged for the choice I made. And I made a choice based off of what was being shown to me. But it was a mask. The mask came off once I was already too deep. And it's not funny. It's not funny to do that to a person. Like, if you have no intention on loving somebody or giving them what they really want, let them go. Don't selfishly hold somebody down while you do all kinds of god awful things to them. Because to me, I don't speak on just cheating. It goes beyond cheating. It goes betrayal, loyalty, lying, deceit, thievery, all kinds of things, especially the good people. And I never wanted nobody to know, because I was trying to protect somebody's image. But then I had to really think about it. They weren't trying to protect mine. They didn't care. Long as people thought that I was this crazy baby mom, or that I was this whore, whatever things they thought I was, whatever people think of me, it's none of my business. I don't give a damn. I know who I am. And all I'm going to say is, when I talk about the fear, I was in fear so long that even when the Lord was blessing me and still blessing me the whole time, He changed my whole world. I went from being a person of having no home to having my home. Me and my kids' name on my lease. No man, no family members. I pay my own rent. No man, no family members. My kids love me. I wanted people to love. My kids love me and adore me. But they teach me so much. They teach me how to be happy in the moment, how to enjoy life. Sometimes, like now, I don't clean up. Like, my house always clean, but like if something's out of place, I'm trying to learn now not to be quick to pick it up or make it neat. To just sometimes be in the moment and, hey, let's have a movie day and let's just eat snacks and stuff and popcorn. That's what I'm moving towards with my kids, because the mental prison I have been in for so many years had made me so depressed that I stopped doing the things I used to do with them. And I'm glad that they've been beside me, encouraging me, because my daughter ain't encouraged me to go ahead and do this. I just think about it all, about the fear and how fear can crush your dreams. Like, I was on my way. I have things that I'm still working on. Like, it's to the point, like, the Lord put me in a position to get the materials and things I need. The Lord put me in a position that anything I want, I can have. But yet, it was the reason why I realized certain things wasn't happening was because of what was around me. And as of today, I've been made the decision a while ago. It's been gone. But I was still, like, having that person around me, disrupting me. To the point, like, times I could have been making videos, but they're around me, and I'm really sitting like, I really don't want you around me. Like, why you won't get it? Because the whole point you only around is to take, because you have nobody else to take from. But I'm a child of God, regardless of what anybody else think. And I thank God for allowing me to have a second chance to be on this spiritual journey. The Lord told me to speak directly about fear. What did the fear make me feel? It made me feel like nothing. It made me feel like I was just in this darkness, in a cell, in its walls, and there's no lights. It made me feel like I was curled up in fetal position for I can't even explain how dark it is to be in that much of fear, until one day I had found out something that I didn't want to find out, but I had a feeling. I would get, dealing with this person, I would get dreams, all kinds of stuff that would, like, warn me. Whether it was exactly what was going on or something that is pushing me to see what was going on. And I just happened to look on the internet one day and see something that disturbed me. And I was like, oh, that's it. So I took myself back away from the situation to control my emotions. I did what my normal self would do when I feel unwanted or like I'm not needed. I'll withdraw. And when I usually do that, it always affects people. Anybody's life I step up out of. Whether they walked out of mine or walked out of theirs, they feel it. Because I'm a good person. And I'm not tooting my horn just because anybody's watching. I'm telling you, if any of them was to watch it, they can't lie. Name one thing I did to you on purpose. Like, please. Please name one thing, and please name one thing you've done for me, please, because my Lord supplies all my needs. Whether it's if I need soap, powder, body wash, whether I need car fare to get somewhere, whatever the need is, whether it's big or small, my Lord supplies that for me, not a person. He put people in places to help me, the same way I'm designed to be in places to help other people. And forgive me, because my stories get kind of long, and I love to talk. But I'm gonna say this. When I was in that head school, he kept telling me I was gonna pass, right? I know I went off topic, but I can't help it, and I'm not editing none of this. This is the raw me. It's so beautiful when I think about the joy. Like, even with my instructor, he never stands up for anybody and be happy for them on graduation day, but he stood up there and talked so highly of me, something nobody ever done. I mean, people have done it, but not like this. And he talked about when I step in the room, the energy shift. And that's when it just when he said that, it made me realize, like, hold up, that really do happen, because it could be a bunch of people mad, and when I come in the room, everybody get happy, stuff like that. And I could see the look on some people's face, and then I seen how, like, even when I was on that clinic floor doing hair, how new girls would come on the floor and they would say things like, "Oh, I wish to get on your level. You do it good, and please." And I always tell them, like, listen, when I first came on the clinic floor, I sucked. It was the confidence in God. It was the confidence in believing that I was there to do what I came to do. It was the confidence in believing myself and to keep moving forward in spite of having a child, in spite of my living arrangement, in spite of being abused mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually by my partner. It was so much. The family abuse and the things that I was dealing with, even in my work environment, and dealing with other people, and then having to deal with the chaos of the school itself. I was in the midst of chaos, but I was able to be a light in that chaos. And when I was in the girl, I told her, I was like, all me being able to cut hair and do all of this didn't happen until the end, until I was about to graduate. I was like, just encouraging people. Like, even when I seen girls down, I come over to them, give them a little word. And it was other spiritual people around, but those people was real judgmental. Because at the time I was smoking weed, and they was judging me because of it. And I'm like, well, the Lord knows that I'm doing it, and at least I'm honest with him. But I was doing it more so because that's what I was doing. But it didn't take the place of saying that I do love God and that I'm changing. It's like everybody got something that they do. Either if you not a smoker, a drinker, or a person that do that, but you might be having sex and not married, or one of your kids might be gay, or you might gamble, or you might smoke cigarettes, or you might drink that Coke 45, or you might be a nice, nasty person. It's so many things that all of us do that you should not look at what somebody else do and look down on their sin. Sin is sin. So regardless of what somebody else sin is, just their sin is no greater than yours. A sin is a sin. I'm gonna make this video short because I'm already at 33 minutes so far, but this video specifically just me sharing my vulnerability about the fear and something I went through in a stage where, as though the Lord still blessed me in the faces of my enemies. People called me all types of whores. You don't want to be nothing. You don't want to do nothing. And all while I always been trying to get towards my dream, people and things have always gotten in the way to try to stop me, but the Lord does not allow them to stop me, nor do I allow them to stop me. All while I wept, all while I cried, all while I thought that I had nothing coming for me. When I look around and I look at my home, I look at my kids, I look where I am, the only thing I don't have is a car. But I'll get in the car. That car is coming. That truck, that van, whatever I need to get me and my 4 kids around so that I can do more and put more into what I'm trying to do right now. Regardless of what people think I can or not be, I'm capable of all things. All I want to say is, it's a quote that I made for myself. I'm going to say this. I was playing around clowning too, until it no longer felt good or safe. until it became unbearable. I was low and I was not low on purpose. I was low from circumstances and choices. I made a choice, and you have a choice. It is a choice to be a victim of your circumstance or a victor of your choices. And I am a victor of my choices, just like you're a victor of your choices. Meaning, don't cry, woe is me, because don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't be like, oh, this person done that. It is hard to forget what people have done, but I'm going through a process of forgiveness. And I'm here to teach you that forgiveness does not mean that you don't forget what somebody's done. Forgiveness means that you release what they've done. You give it to the Most High so that you too can be forgiven. And how that happens is, even if you still feeling hurt, be honest with God. Say, God, I can't stand this person. I don't like what they done. As many times as you have to. Just be honest with God. He's not saying you're not going to feel it. You're going to feel it because it is something you experienced. It's something that you can't forget. See, we may see with our eyes, but we really see with this. We see with this. We see with this. And this is what send all messages to this, not this. You know, your eyes will play illusions on you. And that's how we end up in these bad relationships, because we see something on the surface. But in here, all this right here and this right here is telling us what really counts with a person. But the illusion is all in here. You know, like I said, it's a choice to be a victim. And you know those people who choose to be a victim, you know them people who make all these excuses is why they can't do something. You know those people who always blame it on the system or blame other people. And one thing I learned about blaming other people is it gets you nowhere, and you don't rest when you do that. One thing I can say is when you choose to become a victor of your choices, that means taking one step to change your circumstances. And when I realized I needed to take steps to take my circumstances, I took myself down somewhere and I made a decision like, oh, I got to get out this. And I didn't know I was planting seeds. I had no idea I was planting seeds for years. I had no idea. But now when I look around, I see the seeds that I've sown. The seeds that I sown is not the seeds that I dreamed of, like, oh, this luxury. I don't find luxury in expensive things. I find luxury in having the things that you need. I have all the things that I need, which is a roof over my head, something I never had. I never had a place to call home, and now I have a place to call home. I never had people around that genuinely love me, and the Lord gave me children. Children that I always said that I would adore, and if I ever had children, I would treat them better than what my parents ever treated me or my family. Also, when I look at abundance, is not money. I feel like I'm very abundant in my spirit more than anything, because me 10 years ago was the type of person who, I'm not going to say 10, because even just 2 years ago I was ready to knock people out, but I had more poise with it. I pick my battles wisely now, based off of the circumstances I was born into, based off of the circumstances I was met with, and based off the choices I made that allow God to still move through me. So I share this with you, and I tell you one more time. It's a choice to be a victim of your circumstance or a victor of your choices. Again, beautiful souls, this is Soul Leader. Again, this is me being vulnerable, sharing my story and my experience with you. May peace and blessings be with you. Again, you can like, share, comment, or subscribe, or you can just watch. Do what you're free. Whatever you choose. I'm not picky. I'm not asking anything, but just of your time to take the time out to watch this video. I know that I will get better with my videos. I'll get better with sticking on point and stuff. This is me just testing the waters out and being honest. I don't know no other way to go but up. Well, not up. It's forward. Because I don't go that way, this way. I only go forward. So I pray that you have a wonderful and blessed day. Peace out.